Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my March TBR, so I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I'm planning on reading this month, except not all of the books, because firstly I want to say that the rereadathon is coming up on the 18th of March. For a whole week I'm going to be rereading books, so I'm going to have a separate TBR for that closer to the time, so probably like the week before the readathon I'll put up a TBR for that. And if you want to know more information about the rereadathon, I'll link my announcement video down below, as well as the official Twitter page for that, so that you can check in with all of that information if that's something that you want to join in with this month as well. I'm so excited about that. The book that we are reading for Classics Clique this month, Classics Clique, if you don't know, is my Goodreads book club where we're going to be reading one classic a month. This is the first month ever that Classics Clique is reading a book together. I'm super excited about it, and we had a poll over on the Goodreads group for which classic we should read this month, and the book that won was The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. So this is one of my all-time favorite classics. I'm super excited to be rereading this one this month. It's one that I think is going to create some really good discussion as well, because I know a lot of people love this book like I do, but then a lot of people really don't like it as well. And yeah, I think it's a good classic to start with too, because it's kind of like shorter, it's less intimidating. This one, if you're not familiar with it, is about a boy called Holden. He's a teenager and he kind of gets kicked out of school and spends a couple of days roaming around New York City by himself, and it's very much a character driven sort of novel. It's kind of like a coming of age sort of thing. There's not a whole lot that happens with plot, but the voice of this novel is really interesting, and Holden's a really interesting character, so I think yeah, it's a really good one. If you want to join in with the Classics Clique, you can follow the link down below to do that. There's going to be discussion forums where you can participate and tell us your thoughts on it and everything like that. I'm going to be posting a review of this book sometime this month, and then I'm going to be doing a more like spoiler-filled live show discussion, which is something new for me. I've never done a live show before. So my tentative date for the live show at the moment is Friday the 23rd of March at around 4 p.m. That's New Zealand time. So if you're in America or somewhere else, I'll tell you Pacific Standard Time. It will be probably Thursday the 22nd of March at 7 p.m. PST. So if you just look up 7 p.m. PST, it should tell you what time that is for you if you're wanting to join in for that. Note that one down. There are some books that I'm going to be reading for uni this month as well. So first of all, I have to finish The Handmaid's Tale like I mentioned, but I'm also going to be reading The Colour Purple by Alice Walker. This sounds like a woman who's had a really hard life, and she ends up meeting someone who kind of changes her perspective of everything, and maybe she goes through a bit of self-discovery or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what this is about, to be honest, but I've heard really amazing things about it. The other one that I have to read for that class is Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rhys. This is one that I meant to read in February, but I didn't get around to it, and this is one that's kind of based on a character from Jane Eyre. I'm also going to be reading some poetry for uni as well. Poetry by W.B. Yeats, who is an Irish poet from the early 20th century. I've never read any Yeats before, so I'm not sure what I'll think of it, and I'm not even sure what poems we're going to be reading because I haven't got the anthology yet, but yeah, that will be good because, like I said, I want to read a little bit more poetry this year, so it's nice to have some assigned. And then along the same lines, I'm also going to be reading an Irish novel from the early 20th century, which is Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce. This one, I don't have it yet, but it's on its way to me, so hopefully I'll get it soon. And it's set, like I said, in Ireland, and it follows a young man who is pretty much going through like a search for his identity. That kind of story. I don't really know much about this one either. Then I have a bunch of library books that I still need to finish from my library haul in February, and the first one on my list is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. I really want to read this one. It's about a girl whose best friend gets shot by police in front of her, and she ends up involved in the trial and all that sort of thing. It's inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement, and I cannot wait to read this one. Yeah, this is like the top of my list. I have to read my uni books. Probably I should do that first, but this one I might start like now because I really want to read it. I also still have Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This one is about a horror movie director whose daughter goes missing or is killed or something, and people suspect that he had something to do with it. This one is supposed to be amazing. I've heard great things about it, so really can't wait for this one too. Then I also have from the library Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, which I've heard amazing things about, but I have no idea what it's actually about, but I want to read this one very soon. And then my final one from the library that I still need to finish is Spellbook of the Lost and Found by Moira Fowley Doyle. This one I've also heard really good things about. It sounds very mysterious. It's like a fantasy novel set in Ireland, I think. And if somehow I manage to finish all of those books that I've mentioned so far, because I have to read the uni books and I really want to read the library books before I have to return them, if I manage to finish all of that and do the rereadathon and read The Catcher in the Rye as well for Classics Clique, I also would like to read Looking for Alaska by John Green, because in my last haul a lot of you guys said that this was your favourite John Green book and the one you'd recommend the most, and to be honest, again, I have no idea what it's about, but I would like to pick this up if I get the chance to this month. And then the other one, which I'm also dying to read, which actually kind of, I feel like it has a similar cover with the whole Daisy thing, but this one is called Goodbye Perfect by Sarah Bernard. This came out in February and it's about a girl whose best friend runs off with her boyfriend and leaves her to kind of deal with the aftermath of worried parents and everything like that. So this book sounds really good and I can't wait to read this one as well. So that is it for my TBR for March. If you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts on them in the comments down below. And if you're going to be participating in either the Classics Clique reading The Catcher in the Rye this month, or if you're going to be participating in the rereadathon, let me know that in the comments down below, and I will see you guys with another video in a couple days. Bye.